Former NFL great Reggie Williams is visiting his son Julian, a top-ranked mixed martial arts star, at his new gym in Orlando. The last time we caught up with Reggie, he was just days away from achieving his dream, running for the first time in 10 years on a leg that doctors said should be amputated. He had overcome 24 serious operations and multiple life-threatening infections that left his right leg nearly 4 inches shorter than his left. And he wasn't just going to run, he was going to do it in front of the fans he loved and who loved him back.
I was finally going to have an opportunity to go back to Cincinnati in front of the Bengals before a big game.
The date was set. Reggie was ready, but then disaster.
I know pain in my life, and so this wasn't pain, this was something just went wrong.
He was rushed to the hospital where doctors diagnosed an aortic dissection, a major tear in the large blood vessel that carries blood out of the heart.
And normally when that happens, you have a 99% chance of dying within 24 hours.
Reggie defied the odds, surviving emergency surgery.
So now, I have this nice scar, okay? It's a reminder of how blessed the opportunities in lives are and how fleeting and quickly it can all be taken away from you.
Reggie slowly regained his strength and his determination to run, but on New Year's Eve of this year, disaster struck again.
And all of a sudden, my right arm started going in its own motion, doing everything. I was like, what is going on here? I started to notice that my speech was slurring. And so quickly I realized I'm in trouble again. And I was having a stroke.
He was rushed to the hospital again, and by the time he arrived, he couldn't speak.
I couldn't give my phone number. I couldn't give the name of my son Julian or anyone in my family, my mom or dad. And it was very scary.
He was in the hospital for 5 days. Medication dissolved the blood clots in his brain, but it took months of therapy to regain the ability to speak.
This is a milestone to be able to, talk a few months after a critical, impact to your capacity to speak.
Reggie hopes his major health scares are behind him, but he acknowledges that 14 years as one of the NFL's hardest-hitting linebackers makes him a likely candidate for CTE, the progressive degenerative brain disease found in athletes with a history of repetitive brain trauma.
And you think about all the rules that have been outlawed now, were legal then. You could head slap, you could, in a lot of circumstances, use the face mask, you could clothesline, you could horse collar tackle, you could hit high, you could hit low, you could blindside hit. So, you rang the bell, of the concussions on a regular basis. And so practice is where you hone those skills. And there were a lot of players that didn't make it out of practice. Much less, had their concussions on an NFL field. I would bet that I will have CTC. The question is, what am I doing or what have I done so that I just haven't currently been negatively impacted in terms of my daily lifestyle by it?
Reggie believes that he has an obligation to his NFL brethren to not only delay or prevent CTE, but to successfully live with it should he be diagnosed.
What are things that I can do now to pre-rehab for the probability of more brain damage? And so it seems like those who have been through the mill, through the gauntlet, can shed a lot of light to how to optimize your ability to survive it.
In the wake of his aortic dissection, his major stroke, and growing concerns about CTE, Reggie Williams is focusing once again on his dream of running onto a football field, and he spontaneously decides to attempt to take his first few strides in more than 11 years.
It might take 2 steps, it might take 4 steps. I don't know how many steps it is, but there's got to be progress. It's got to be that day that you actually do it. So this might be that day.
If he can jog just 1 step, it will be a major milestone in his impossible dream. His first attempt
Well, that ain't gonna work.
is a failure, and he's not discouraged for even a second. This is a man who never gives up. He changes locations, adjusts his technique, and tries again.
Yes, sir.
It's not quite the speed with which he used to get into the backfield, but the thrill may be even greater than sacking Joe Montana.
I still have the dream of running on the field, and yet the dream of staying alive obviously is greater, you know.
Reggie Williams is a man who has defied the odds against him his entire life, and despite the prospect of another major battle ahead, he remains optimistic, a willing warrior, ready for whatever life throws his way.